grace are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Sign of the Times. I want to thank you for joining us tonight. Normally, we hit you up on a Friday evening or Thursday evening, but tonight I just couldn't wait. It is a beautiful, I don't know where you're watching from. We got people, we got guests that watch as far as Oakland, California, to Florida, Ohio, wherever you may be watching. I just want to tell you, I don't know what it's like there, but it is a beautiful day in the Carolinas. It is a beautiful evening here in North Carolina, and I want to thank you for joining us tonight with what I call an urgent show. I wanted to put together this show of urgency because there's some things that we need to talk about. There's some things that we need to deal with, and we need to just get to it. And I wanted to just interrupt the week on a Wednesday night and bring a special guest on and talk about what's next. I want to know what's next. I know what is. I know what was. I want to know what's next. Let's get to our guest, but before we get to our guest, a couple of things I want to challenge you, and I'll do it later on in the show as well. If the topic, if we're not really getting into it and I can really remember to do it, I want to challenge you to send your comments. You can put your comments on the screen, and your questions and comments. Hit the share button, invite someone. You know we have a special guest tonight, but I want your comments. I want you to interact with us, ask your questions. I want you to be safe. We're still in the middle of a pandemic. Wear your mask, wash your hands, do what you need to do. Coronavirus is real. The numbers are spiking. They're going up. They're leveling off in some places, but we're not through this yet. We're not out of the woods yet. And so let's be smart. Let's not try to prove a point. There are people that try to prove a point by walking around saying, look, it won't affect me. Listen, this thing is serious. It's real. So we don't have time to prove a point. We've got time to live. So do that. Hit the share button. I want to say good evening. Thank you for watching. Those that are watching on Facebook. I want to thank you. Those that are watching on our live YouTube channel. Thank you. Those that are watching on our live Twitter page. Thank you for joining us tonight. My friends, my guest tonight is going to come. Before he comes, I do want to solicit your help. I need your financial support, and I'm going to tell you why. We have decided to partner with Sly's Family Restaurant in Rockingham, North Carolina. They're doing a wonderful job. DeMarcus Huff was one of our guests. DeMarcus was on here, and he talked about how he went from suicide to being a business owner and running one of the I'm telling you, the food is spectacular, one of the best restaurants in the Rockingham area, and how they're so successful because they give back to the community. They love feeding the homeless. And we decided we want to help them. So I need your help. The cost of one meal is $7. And we want to raise enough money to feed 100 people for Thanksgiving, 100 homeless people. You'd be surprised how many homeless people there are in the Rockingham and Charlotte area. Homeless, not just living on the street, but living with relatives, living in a hotel, living in their car. And we want it to be, as my mom used to say, a sin and a shame for us to eat a month from now, getting ready to eat at Thanksgiving dinner with your turkey and cranberry sauce and macaroni cheese and potato salad. And there's somebody in the Charlotte, North Carolina, Rockingham area that don't have anything to eat, that is going through, ravaging through a trash can or asking Bojangles, do they have anything left? I need as many of you that can to partner with us a $7 gift. Our Cash App is $Eagle, EAGLE, Austin, ALSTON, Eagle Austin. Contact me, my friends. We want to get as many $7 gifts that we can. I'm going to give. We already had one big lump, and I'm going to match that. If you give it, I'll match it. We're going to do it. I want to be able to experience the joy of feeding the homeless. Okay, let me bring my guest on tonight. He is no novice. He is a close friend of mine. He was supposed to be on a long time ago, and he wouldn't come because he was so busy and popular and famous that he wouldn't come on, and y'all know how it is. They get famous and popular, and to the point where I sent him can you come on the show? And it's like, who this? And see my publicist. And so I had to go in order to get him on. I had to go to the Vatican, get the secretary to come back to the States to put in a request. And so he's here tonight, and I think the secretary said he's got about 3 minutes, and after that, that's all he's gonna give me is 3 minutes. Everyone, help me welcome my friend and brother from another mother. His mama is one of them mamas that'll whoop me like she'll whoop him. Bishop Garland. Heggie, bless you, Bishop. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good to be here. Good to be here with you. Of course, you can, listen, y'all, don't pay attention. Bishop, he has the Batcave number, so he can always whenever it's necessary. But I'm absolutely honored to be with you. I've been watching you for months and months and months. And so I guess he's ran out of all of we could have. I said, all right, let me call Heggie now. But I'm absolutely honored to be up with you.
Save the best for last, right? Listen, we're living in difficult times. We're living in times that, we've heard terms like unprecedented, and we've heard terms like, never before. And we've heard people say things like, people are dying that never died before. And we've heard it all. We're in times we've never experienced. And as I said when I opened up, we know what is, we know what was, but the question is what's next. And there's some things we want to deal with. Maybe we can take our time and go down the line tonight. We're dealing with this coronavirus. We're dealing with racism, and we're dealing with an election coming up in a couple of weeks. Yeah. And the thing that I admire, ladies and gentlemen, the things that I admire about Bishop Heggie is he's not a limited preacher to the pulpit. He's not a preacher that's just limited to the fact that my only stage is on a Sunday morning. You will see him in the schools talking to, I remember, he doesn't know this. I'm going to put some business out on the street. He doesn't know this. One of the schools that I work in, I was in the school. I go from school to school, and I happened to stumble into a building, and I didn't know they were having a faculty meeting. So I'm sneaking around. So, okay, everybody's in the faculty meeting. That means I can go get some coffee and nobody sees me. And so I'm walking around. I go past the media center, and all the teachers are in there. And he's in there teaching the teachers. I started to come in, but I said, no, if I come in, he gonna take an offering if I come in.
I could have tossed the mic to you.
Yeah, they'd have ran out then. But the thing that I admire is being able to cross the line, because we're in a time when we need to reach outside of the pulpit. Right. There's some preachers, there are a couple, we got about 200 million Christians in America. You probably got 5 preachers that are saying, don't vote. What's next for us? Pick a topic, Bishop, whether it's COVID, racism. And the reason why I'm saying pick a topic, because I guarantee you when we start talking about them, all 3 of them will intertwine together.
Well, you know what, Bishop, you asked, you made a profound statement. You talked about, what we know what was. We know what is, and now we're trying to figure out what's next. Mm-hmm. Talk about what we're dealing with right now, whether you're talking about, COVID-19, whether you're talking about what's happening politically. You said it was a unprecedented time. Mm-hmm. That one of the things that we have to realize, and if we really take advantage of this moment, what's next should be unprecedented too. Wow. We're experiencing something now that we've never experienced before. And if we really do this right, what we experience next will be something we've never experienced before. I've been trying to tell pastors, I've been trying to tell, business owners, listen, everybody's trying to get back to normal. Uh-huh. We ought to be establishing our next normal, a new normal. And I think that's what we have to do. I think we have to ride the wave of what's happening right now. When you look at it, I made a post a little while ago. It's saddening to see how divided our country is. It is. As it relates to the coronavirus, it's divided. One group of people are saying, listen, open everything back up. Let's just business as usual. There's another group of people that say, no, it's not time. It's too risky. It's too dangerous. I don't think that we should do that. Politically, we got one group of people that says, listen, we need to make America great. We need to keep America great. And then you have another group of people that's saying, listen, we've got to make a change. Mm-hmm. As it relates to the social unrest, we got one group of people saying, hey, listen, we've got to fix this problem with racism in our country. And then we've got another group of people saying, hey, listen, so we got one group saying Black Lives Matter. We got another group saying all lives matter. Mm-hmm. Divided. We're so divided right now that the truth is it doesn't matter if Trump wins or if Biden wins. Mm-hmm. If Trump wins, half of the nation felt like they lost. If Biden wins, half of the nation felt like they lost. You know what I'm saying? And I think that at some point in time, the people, those of us who are looking at this moment in time and saying, this is different, this is unprecedented, but there's something that we can do to change the narrative and not just change it, because we talk about changing the narrative. We have to learn how to control the narrative. Mm-hmm. God says something to Adam. He says, he put him in the garden and he says this, I want you to dress it and I want you to keep it. Not the same thing. He says, I want you to dress it. If I got to dress, I got to decide what I'm going to put on. I've got to decide what I'm going to look like. So God said to him, I want you to dress the garden. Decide how you want it to look. And then I want you to keep it. I want you to maintain it. Don't let weeds grow up. Don't let all these different things happen. And I think at some point in time, we've got to make the decision. What do we want next to look like? We've got to create that, and then we've got to maintain it.
Bishop, is there a problem? I want to use this big word. And ask, is there a problem in our country? And I wanted to pop this flag up here, kind of get dealing with what's going on in this country. Is there a problem with being ambiguous? In other words, we just don't know. Because, and the reason why I'm asking that, you said something very powerful. You said we're in a time that we've never seen before. So the next should be a time that we've never seen before. So if that's the case, can I even explain what the next is if I've never seen it before?
You know what? And the truth of the matter is, and I know this is not going to be a preaching session, but I want to use a scripture. Paul says, I have not seen, okay, ear have not heard. Mm-hmm. Has it entered into the hearts of men the things that God has prepared for them that live on. But even though eyes haven't seen it,
we stop right there.
Hadn't even entered into the heart.
We tend to stop right there.
Okay.
I'm saying when we.
Oh yeah.
We stop there. We stop
there. Absolutely, we stop there. But it goes on to say, but He has revealed to us by the Spirit. And I believe that there are people, we can make it mysterious, we can make it spooky, we can make it perfect, we can do all of that. But there's something on the inside of us that says it's supposed to be better. Mm-hmm. If a person gets sick, there's something on the inside of them that says, that says, I want to be healed. That if no matter how bad something is, there's something on the inside that says this should be better. And even though what's next, we've never seen it, there are people that have gifts, that have one of the most amazing things is on the day of Pentecost when Peter gets to preaching and he's talking about what Joel said. He says, your old men will dream dreams. Mm-hmm. Young men will see visions. Mm-hmm. That there are going to be two different generations of people coming together. They see this thing different. The old man it's a dream. It's a dream. It's this utopia. It's this fantasy. But to the young man, it's the vision. It's the direction. It's the know-how. And I think that when we're able to come together from that fashion, that the person that designs the building is usually not the person that builds the building. The person that designs the building has the know-how, the ingenuity, to understand the specs and what's needed, weight loads, and all of those different kind of things. The person that builds it doesn't have the same knowledge, doesn't have the same skill set. And at some point in time, the person that has the dream and the person that has the vision, the reason why we're having the most difficult time, and if I can say this, in finding the next Martin Luther King, because you don't need a Martin. Because Martin had a dream. He didn't have a vision. The last message that he preached, he deemed himself to be Moses. Into the mountaintop, I've looked over, seen the promised land. I'm not getting it. He's Moses. That means that whoever's going to take his place is Joshua. Right. Moses had a rod. Joshua had a sword. And we're trying to get one generation to do this new thing with the same skills of the old. And so to answer your question, how can we do this new thing if we don't have a point of reference? We have one. It's just in the head, it's in the hearts, and it's in the spirit of people, oftentimes that nobody knows. And that's why one generation is getting ready to pass away and another generation is coming.
Let's talk about a subject that's dear to my heart, and I'm sure it's dear to yours, being a parent. And that's where we are as far as education. We're also experiencing something that we've never experienced. We're experiencing children being at home now, learning virtually, something that if you think about it, a couple of years ago, we would say that's the way it's going because all the kids do is sit around and they're on their computers. I mean, you look at us, we got some of us, we have 2 cell phones. We got, in laptops and computers. Well, now they're forced to do it and it's become the problem. What do you see as a parent from the spiritual side of it, where we are and where we're going?
Well, again, I think, like you said, it's unprecedented. It's funny because by now, when I was a child, by now I thought we would be living like the Jetsons.
Yeah.
And, and it's not as advanced as I thought it was going to be. And even though it's not as advanced, when you end up in a situation like we're at right now, with all the virtual learning, it's challenging for the children at this moment in time. Mm-hmm. What it reveals to us is that we have not been preparing for what was next. Mm-hmm. We haven't been preparing. So I was listening to the debate between Governor Cooper and Lieutenant Governor Forrest, and they were talking about the infrastructure. And one of the problems with the virtual learning and the remote learning is so many people don't have access to high-speed internet. And it's interesting because we haven't been preparing for these things. And I think what it does, it just shows when this virus hit, we discovered that we didn't have enough toilet paper. we discovered that so many things that became necessary, we realized that we really hadn't prepared for certain things. And it's funny for church people to me, because everybody's been preaching for years and years and years. Get ready. We're in the end times. But it just goes to show you that we've been saying things and seeing and hearing things for years that we haven't prepared for. And we're dealing with our kids, the remote learning, the virtual learning. It just goes to show you that we didn't prepare ourselves. And I believe there's going to be another shutdown. You said it earlier. The numbers are spiking. The more that they open things up, the more irresponsible that many people are going to be, the more people that's going to end up with the virus. And I'm going to tell you, I don't care what anybody says. I know some people say it's a hoax. It's not serious. I had the virus. At the time, I was 44 years old, a very healthy person, and I had the virus, and it was a fight. I ended up in the ICU for 4 days. It was a serious fight. And I just, because of that, I'm more cautious. And I really believe that because of the fact that things are opening up the more, we're coming into flu season, we're coming back into the season when the virus first, became prevalent and known, at least in China and other places. People are going to get too comfortable. They're not going to be careful, and the numbers are going to go up. And when the numbers go up again, they're not going to have a choice but to shut it down. And the question that I have for people is, if they shut it down, do you have enough toilet paper? Do you have enough soap? Do you have enough food? Are you preparing? Is your bills? You can't depend on a stimulus packet. If they don't send the $1,200, if you don't get the food stamps, will you have enough food? Will you have money to pay your bills? If they don't, there's a preparation that we need. And even for our children, as much as they're preparing to go back to school again, if there's a shutdown? Are we prepared to help our children with their work? It's showing that even as parents, we have forsaken our responsibility to really make sure, and you're in the school system, to make sure our children are prepared and know, and we put it on the school. And now the parent is having to be the teacher and really should even realize, I don't even know, if your child is in the 6th grade and doing math in the 6th grade, and you're a grown-tail man or grown-tail woman and can't help them, then listen, watch this. You don't understand 6th grade math then. So that means that maybe we have not really allowed ourselves to grow and progress the way that we need to. And I think that that's one of the things. I think that the old saying is, our slip is showing.
Yeah. Let's take a break real quick, Bishop. Give me a few seconds and we'll come right back and we'll talk about the church side of this.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. I wanted to take a time out just to talk to you and solicit your support. I need your help. Not too long ago, one of our best shows that we've ever had was dealing with the topic from suicide to success. During that show, we had a special guest, a young man named DeMarcus Huff. The following week, his mom came on and we talked with a lot of people, and your interaction is what made it such a powerful show. During that show, he talked about how he went from having a gun to his head to owning one of the most powerful, successful businesses in the Rockingham, Charlotte area, Sly's Famous Diner, home of the legendary lemon pepper chicken. My daughter and I took the drive and went to support them and to see firsthand is what he was talking about really true, and it was true. Not talking about the food, which was, as we say, off the chain. What was true is that one of the things that DeMarcus said that they do is that they take care of the homeless. We saw firsthand a homeless person wandering up. DeMarcus pull over on the side of the road and offer his assistance in feeding them. That was powerful. My friends, we need your help. DeMarcus said that that's what they do. They feed the homeless. Homelessness is an epidemic in this country. It's something that's oftentimes swept under the carpet. We think that homelessness means sleeping on a grate, but it doesn't have to mean sleeping on a grate. You can be homeless living in a hotel, or living with a family member means that you're homeless. I need your help because during this holiday season, Sign of the Times would love to, and we're going to partner with Sly's Family Diner and feed the homeless. I need your help because we made a commitment. The cost of one meal is just $7. $7. You can't get a good Subway meal with a sandwich, chips and fries, and chips and drink for that amount. $7. We need your help as we want to feed 100 homeless people during the holiday season. I need 100 people. Well, let me take that back. I need 98 because my daughter and I have vowed to take care of 2. So I need 98 people to just donate $7 to help feed a homeless person. It would be a shame for us to sit down at Thanksgiving and eat turkey and collard greens and ham and macaroni and cheese and dinner rolls and sweet potato and pumpkin pie and potato salad and cranberry sauce while someone is rummaging through a trash can or waiting behind a diner to throw away some food to eat. We have a moral obligation. We have a responsibility. We are our brother's keeper. I need your help. You see the Cash App scrolling on the bottom of the screen. I need for you, my friends, to hit that Cash App. We're going to put DeMarcus's Cash App. You can bypass us and just send it to them. Just let them know that it's coming on behalf of Sign of the Times. We want to do this. We need your help. Let's band together. During difficult, unprecedented times that we've never seen before, we have to learn how to give and to plant our seed during the time of famine. That's how we get the increase, by sowing in the time of famine. So I'm asking you again, whatever terminology you want to use, whether it's called giving, sowing, donating, whatever it is, $7 to help feed the homeless during this holiday season. We're going to get it done. I want your help. I need your help, my friend. I don't care if you give 7, 21, 14, 35, 49, 70, 63. any multiple. You can give the entire 700 if you want. Let's do this. We need your help. We're going to get it done, and we're going to get it done together. Thank you so much for your support. All right. Thank you. Please join us in this endeavor as we get this done to feed the homeless. Bishop, years ago.
Look, can I say something, Bishop?
Sure.
That was pretty good right there. I mean, you got whole commercials and everything. I mean, you are an absolute.
I'm trying to be like you.
That's just amazing. But I'll say this. So you said that you need 98 more.
You need 98. Well, actually, since recording that commercial, we have a few more. So we're getting there. We're getting closer. Not quite 98, but probably about 90. We're getting there.
Okay. Well, listen, we're going to do 10. I got 10 for you. All right.
I appreciate that.
We're gonna take 10, and so we need at least 10 more people before we get off to jump on and do the same thing. Definitely want to be there, be a blessing, and to help you with that. So
we appreciate that. We really do. Years ago, when I was growing up, our pastor back in the 70s, in the mid 70s, every summer he would have something that, again, was unprecedented because people were just having church. He would have a 30-day revival, but the 30-day revival wasn't just 30 straight days. He would have a week and then, a week at a time, but he had the revival outside in the parking lot. It was his traditional outdoor revival. And he would have revivalists come in and he would have Philadelphia lit up and people were coming. It was a tradition. Some great preachers got their start during his outdoor revival. We're doing that now. We've got to have outdoor services.
Yeah.
What is happening with the fundamental structure of how we have church as a whole, whether it's Baptist, Pentecostal, Methodist? What's going on with our traditional way of doing things? And I'm asking that because I know you're doing something great with the outdoor services.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Again, it goes to show that what this pandemic did is it showed that our slip was showing. It's interesting because early last year, I was sharing with our bishop something that was on my heart to do. And I really wanted to start doing more of an online virtual experience. Didn't do it, thought I would wait for a little while. And then the pandemic hit. And one of the things that we ended up doing, we started having service at the drive-in in Henderson. We would have service at the drive-in. And that was something that would kind of help us. Again, I think that for a long time, we spent a lot of time trying to make people come to church, trying to get them to come to a building. And people were really getting into the online. They were watching service online. And we were really trying to push people. We used scripture, forsake not assembling together by ourselves, to get people to come into the building. And a lot of people at least tried to make Facebook seem like the devil. The devil is keeping people out of the church. What's happened now is that everybody has to do it in some type of way. And so because of that, you can no longer say it's the devil because everybody has to now do it. I think that one of the things, again, that happened is that we didn't prepare ourselves. Mm-hmm. I've been saying this to pastors. I've been saying this to business owners, but just to pastors, since this is a church question. At the end of this pandemic, when this pandemic is over, your church is either going to be Blockbusters or it's going to be Netflix.
Okay. When
this is over, you're gonna be Netflix or you're gonna be Blockbuster. And there are many people that will hear that and they say, what in the world is a Blockbusters? Because they don't know. But those of us that know, they had it, but they missed it. And the amazing thing is, for those that know the story, Netflix tried to get Blockbusters to buy them for dirt cheap, pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't do it. They thought it was crazy. They thought it wouldn't work. And now everybody is subscribing to Netflix and there's not a Blockbuster anywhere in sight. There are churches who have a blockbuster mentality. And when this pandemic is over, they're not going to be able to stand. And for the churches that really want to be progressive and really want to be able to touch more people, they're going to have to change their mindset. They're going to have to change their tools. They're going to have to change their technology. They're going to have to do some different things, because the truth of the matter is there are actually more people coming to church now, truly, than most people had coming into the building. People that's not even saved, quote unquote saved, people who are not born again or church going people. They're watching, they're listening, they're connecting. And I think that one of the things that we've got to do is we got to build on that, because if not, when this thing is over with, people are going to be looking at the door waiting for people to come in, and it's not going to be what it was before. And so, we definitely have to prepare.
So what is the mission and the job of the church now during this pandemic and coming out of it? Has the mission changed from before by way of missions or what have you?
But I don't think that the mission changed. I think the mission remains the same. I think the methods have to change.
Okay.
The problem with the church is when you try to start changing methods, people, say that that's compromising. You're compromising when you're changing the methods. You're in some way diluting the sanctity of this religious establishment that we've had. But the reality is the methods have to change. Again, the Moses carried a rod.
Right.
Joshua didn't have a rod. Joshua had a sword. And for every generation, there's a different tool. We've seen it, and I know you've seen it. You were the one that consecrated me a bishop in 2007, 13 years ago. Look at the church now compared to just 13 years ago. It's not the same church.
Right.
It's not the same church. And if we don't recognize that a change has taken place, we quote there's a paradigm shift. There's a dispensational. We quote all of these theological terms, but we have no real application for that paradigm shift. We have no real application for this dispensational shifting and movement. And I'm telling you, if we don't do that, we're going to miss out. The world is doing it. The world is doing it. And if we don't do it, we're going to continue to. There are less people now that identify themselves as Christians now than 10 years ago. And that's an indictment against us, because we've been focusing in on just trying to keep people and not evangelize. So I think that we have to evangelize different. I love these forums. Right now, I'm on every morning, I'm talking, we preaching on Sundays. But listen, man, we got game shows that we're launching next month. Well, we're producing them now. We're shooting shows now. We got game shows. We got dating games. We got couple shows. We got competition shows. We have a whole different arsenal as it relates to media material and content that we're getting ready to put out. And I think, again, you're gonna be blockbusters or you're gonna be Netflix. And it just takes, how are we going to be able to connect with people, outreach, missions, all of that? We're going to have to do it different if we're going to get different results.
I always ask this question, and tonight be no different. I ask it of every guest, and tonight is going to be the same. Coming from Philly, my favorite movie, Philadelphia, starring Denzel Washington and Tom Hanks. Denzel asked one of the witnesses on the stand, he says, explain it to me like I'm a 4-year-old. I want you to explain to me like I'm a 4-year-old. In the middle of this pandemic, in the midst of racial injustice, all of this racial tension is going on. If I'm a young person that has lost a loved one, seeing things going downhill, I don't go to church. Tell me like I'm a 4-year-old. Why should I trust you and any other church or anyone else that there's going to be hope or that there's light at the end of the tunnel?
Well, if I was talking to a 4-year-old, I think the thing that I would say to them is, you have the ability to determine what's going to happen next. And when I say what's going to happen next, you get to decide if, as a child, this generation of kids will have a hard time if you take away their phones, if you take away the games. See, my generation didn't have that problem. In the woods and spend all day long swinging on trees and playing outside. And we didn't have to go in the house. We didn't need the air conditioner.
Right.
We didn't need any of that, because as a child, our imagination, our creativity, creative juices was flowing. And we just figured out a way. A child could go sit in the corner, and that child go sit in the corner. In a few minutes, they're over there. They done created a whole new world. They playing and doing all different kind of things. As a 4-year-old, why? What should you trust? Trust me when I say that you can smile if you want to smile. That you have the ability to decide what's going to be next. We're doing things like singing competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I doing that? Because as a child, you have a gift. You have a gift. You can sing. You have a gift. You like the model. You like to put clothes together. You're designing. You're doing all these different kind of things. I want to show you how to do that. I'm not concerned about the difference. And I'm going to say this to you, Bishop. The difference between the generation now and the generation before is the generation before concentrated on getting heaven. The generation now ain't thinking about heaven. They thinking about now.
Right.
They're thinking about earth. And the truth of the matter is neither generation is wrong. You need to consider now, but you also need to consider eternity. And it's possible to balance the two. It is possible to tell a child, what gifting do you have? What do you like to do? Oh, I like to draw. Okay, let's work on this. Let's build that creativity, because there are people that pay money for that. I like to dance. All right, let's work on your dancing. Whatever it is that you have, whatever your gift is, this is the time for you to be able to cultivate that gift. You talked about the guy who had the gun to his head and now he owns the restaurant. He took a passion that he had. He moved past his pain and he started building on his passion. And I think that that's what we've got to teach this next generation, because the generations ahead of us and part of our generation are like old dogs refusing to learn new tricks. But there's this younger generation that they're ready to do it. They're ready to make it happen. And if you take the time to start building and cultivating who you are and what you have, you can start doing amazing things right now. We have talent shows in the schools all the time, but we have talent shows in the schools to raise money for the school. We don't have talent shows in the schools. We don't have a Motown mentality. Motown says, listen, I want you to show your talent because I want to make you a star. And I think that that's what we got to start doing, especially with our kids, is really start showing them that you have the ability at this moment in time to start doing some things that would really take your life to the next level.
I was talking to my cousin, Bishop Burks, and we were talking about old times, and we were talking about how we used to play basketball. And he said we were talking to another gentleman, and Bishop Burks was talking about how we used to play ball back in the day. And he said, man, let me tell you something. He said, Dave, you still got that move where you pound the ball on the floor and come up strong? I said, no, I'm at my age now. If I go down, I'm not coming back up. And so he was saying, man, Dave, I used to get the ball and I would pound it on the floor to muster up all my strength and come up strong. And there's nothing anyone could do because I would power up. I was thinking about that this morning. I was laughing about that. And I immediately started to think that I imitated that move that I saw a player do on television. Well, in today's life, we have more access to television, videos, and things like that. I wouldn't do that. I would develop my own style. And this is, I'm getting to a question for you, Bishop. I thought about how I used to play basketball when I was in my teens, how I would pound it, but now I'm more of an outside. I can dribble, I can go around and shoot. And I thought to myself, if I knew then what I know now, if I can match my intellect now with the ability, because now I can't, my mind is willing, but the flesh, it's not even weak. It's just gone. I want to ask you this, and I've never asked the guest this tonight, so I hope I'm not putting you on the spot. You have a son that's in high school, and I call him Little Bishop. If we were able to push some magic button right now, today is October the 14th, 2020. You said that you gave your age earlier. What would Garland Heggie today say if he was standing in front of 15 to 18-year-old Garland Heggie?
I would say to him, you're not like everybody else. I would say to him that you have some vision and some gifts that other people don't have. Don't waste your time trying to do what everybody else is doing. Spend some time learning yourself. Spend some time, really figure out who you are and what you want to do. Because you have the gifting now. It's time for you to start building on those things even right now. What you said is so true. If I had known then what I know now, I spent too much of my adult life trying to, in some ways, duplicate what I saw other people do. You know what I'm saying? But the people that do the best are the people that do it different. You think about an Oprah, you think about somebody that did it different. If you think about a Tyler Perry, you think about somebody that did it different. You know, if you think about a Denzel, these are people who decided that I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do me, and that's what I would tell myself, because I think that when you're trying to duplicate other people's, I was sharing some vision with someone, and they said to me, "What you're doing, nobody else is doing." Well, I need some advice. I need you to and they said, I can't give you any, because what you're trying to do, you don't have a point of reference for. So if you just stay true to what you are seeing, if you stay true to what Bishop Jake says all the time, that success is when you can see what's in your head. That thing that idea, that thing that you got in your head, when you can see that thing manifest in front of you, that's success. Now, the truth of the matter is, everybody don't see what I see. Right. So there are some people that might not say what I did is successful, but it's only because you didn't see it. And for that thing to become, I was sharing something that Bishop said. He said that God has never made a table or a chair. He's only made a tree. And I said, wow. I said, I spent all my life being jealous of other people's tables and chairs, not realizing that God didn't give them the table and chair. God only gave them a tree. A tree too. And so instead of me trying to make my tree into what they have, I got to make my tree to what I have. And I tell my sons who are my age now, my youngest son, Josh, he is, if you've seen in the Facebook post, Bishop, he got me in the woods hunting. He got me at the lake fishing. I mean, he want to have a farm. Josh, what you want for your birthday? I want a cow. You know, I want some chickens. I mean, he want, and at one part of me is like, why you want to do that? But then it hit me. He has a desire to do, he sees something that I don't see. He wants to become something that I wasn't trying to become. And it's not my job to point him into the direction that I want him to go into. It's my job to help him cultivate himself in the direction that he's trying to go into, so he can be his own man. He might look like me. He might talk like me. He tries best to be like me. But at the end of the day, there's something about him that's different. And I would really coach him into being you. Try to be like nobody else. You're wasting your time, your gifting, trying to be like somebody else.
I've heard that asked before. Someone said, if you can talk to the person, talk to yourself, 20 years ago. Now, this next question, I've never heard anyone. Now, the only reason I'm asking is because you said, don't do it like anyone else. I'm going to ask you a question. I promise you, I've never heard anyone ask, because I did hear someone say, if you were able to talk to the 18-year-old, what would you say now? Here's my question. I've never asked anyone, never heard it.
Okay.
You're sitting here tonight at age 45. What would you say if you were sitting face to face with you at 75?
What would I say? First, I would
Or
say,
acts?
yeah. I think that I would really want to sit in front of that person. I would want that person to be able to look at me and say thank you. I would want the 75-year-old me to look at me and say thank you. Be able to trace back, and say, you know what? I remember us at 25. I remember us at 35. But when you made up your mind at 45 that you were really going to chase your dream, when you made up your mind at 45 that you were going to be the game changer that God had called you to be, when you made up in your mind at 45 to take, instead of crying about and whining about the failures, you decided, like David, it was good for me that I was afraid that I might learn. I want to thank you for making that decision, because that decision it's the reason why, we have $1 trillion empire. It's the reason why you are multi-billionaire. It's the reason why our children and our grandchildren are so successful. It's the reason why the world has changed. The world is better because of the decisions that you make. That's a conversation I hope to have with the 75-year-old me. That person can say thank you. And again, going back to how we started this, it's you deciding what next looks like. What's next? What do you want next to look like? How happy do you want to be in the next season? How rich do you want to be in the next season? How effective do you want to be in the next season? And whatever it is that you say that you want, you got to start building that now.
You mentioned a term, and before we go, we've been on here. Time is flying. We've been on here going on an hour almost, but you said something we got to hit on. We got to hit on it. I'm going to let you have the floor to hit on it because it's your. I'm waiting on you to try to patent it or something, some kind of way patent it. What do you mean? Again, I'm a 4-year-old. You said something about a game changer. What is that?
The definition of a game changer is a newly introduced element or factor that changes an existing situation or activity in a significant way. A game changer is that new thing that changes an old thing. It's that person, whether it be everybody's talking about who's the greatest of all time. Is it LeBron? Is it Michael Jordan? Everybody has all of these different. The truth of the matter is that LeBron was newly introduced. Whole different era. Jordan was newly introduced. It was a whole different era. A game changer is the person that recognizes that they can do something. Now, a game changer can be negative and can be positive. If somebody came up to me, a game leader came up to me and convinced me to join a game, that's a game-changing moment in my life. That's negative. But I'm looking at a game changer as being something positive. It's the person that looks at a situation, whether you're looking at the political turmoil right now, whether you're looking at the social unrest, whether you're looking at this coronavirus, that person saying, I know that I have the ability, the knowledge, the wisdom, the gift, the intellect to make this situation better. That's a game changer. Whether they do it in entertainment, what's the young man, Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, and one of the things that he said was, I don't want to take black roles that just feed this negative stereotype. I want to play a different kind of role. He game changer. So now we get to see James Brown. Now we get to see Thurgood Marshall. Now we get to see all these different people and to see our people in a different light. That's a game changer. And a game changer at the end of the day has to be somebody that's willing to go against the grain and not be like everybody else.
Unfortunately, some of the questions haven't popped up on the screen, and I'm getting there. Jeremy Thompson just asked, "What was your game changer?"
What was my game changer? You know what? About 2009, the Lord gave me the idea of a game changer, and I started studying it, and I started building off of it. I think the game changer for me right now, the something that has really kind of changed the game for me right now is when I connected with Bishop Jakes. I think that was a game, not but that was a game changer for me because it started exposing me to the possibility that everything I had been seeing and believing and these visions that I had been writing down for years and years, that it was possible, and gave me some focus and some counsel on how to make it happen. So I think that would be one of the major game-changing events in my life.
What about how can I get a game changer if I don't have access to a Bishop Jakes?
Well, you know what? I think that one, it's what you're trying to do. I think that there are people around us. I had a older white gentleman years ago, really took interest in the things that I was doing, and he was sharing some different things, and I really think that he was putting himself in a position to mentor me. I didn't recognize that. I didn't see it from that perspective. He's not famous, very wealthy person though. And I think I missed that opportunity to be mentored by somebody, because some of the things that I'm trying to do now, he would be a great person to be able to help me. I say that because I think that there are people who are around everybody that you can touch, that you can have conversation with, that can help speak to you for that next level. I connected with Bishop Jakes because of Bishop Summerfield. I was the son of Bishop Summerfield. Bishop Summerfield passed, and I ended up connecting with Bishop Jakes because he was a son of Bishop Jakes. Bishop Summerfield was. But Bishop Summerfield taught me what he taught me the 9 years I was connected with him was more about being a man, more about being a husband, more about being a father. It wasn't so much ministry. He showed me ministry. He showed me faith, but he showed me about being a man. And I think that what he instilled and imparted into me made me ready for what now Bishop Jakes is imparting into me for. I think I'm ready for this next level of things with Bishop because of a Bishop Summerfield. And so I think that there are people who are around you. And if you can, I'll say this real quick, if you can't touch the person that you see, you can still glean from the person that you see. I listen to a lot of interviews that people do. I listen to a lot of books. I read a lot of books that people do. There's a way even for you to indirectly glean from them and the things that they have.
All right, well, let's go, but I'm going to give you an opportunity to say the final word, but I would like to say this, if you can hit on it. I went on a rant a couple of weeks ago, well, I don't know when it was, about disunity, and you mentioned this in your opening, how I expressed earlier how disgusted I am with our state as a country, as a nation, and that we are totally divided. And it's just wrong. When after November 3rd, we still got to live together.
Right.
But unfortunately, we're still going to live together divided. And it's just wrong. It's right wing versus left wing, liberal versus conservative. My candidate versus your candidate. Man, this is just wrong. There's no way to live. There's no way to teach our children how to live. We need to come together, and I've been a proponent for years. Let's just, I'm not a real fan of the party system because I'll say this and I'll yield the floor to you. I'm a big Philadelphia. Anyone knows me, know I'm a big Philadelphia Eagle fan. I'm not gonna pull my rings out. And if a member of the Dallas Cowboys commit a crime, I'm going to say, you know what? Put him off the team and lock him up. But if a member of the Eagles commits that same crime, I'm going to say, well, give him some counseling and, let him play, because I'm more of a fan of my team than I am what's right and what's wrong.
Right. And
I think that's what's happening in our nation. We're more party driven than we are unity driven. And we need to come together, man. We're going to, eventually, we're going to just implode.
Yeah. My post earlier before we came on was, it saddens me to see how divided our nation is. It's not, but our problem is not a party issue. Our our problem is a heart issue that we have allowed people to sow these seeds of discord, and we've allowed these people to sow these seeds of division in us. And now our neighbors, you're looking at people that you went to school with, you're looking at people that you grew up with, that you work with, that you hung out with, and now all of a sudden these things is just coming up. And like you said, we're so divided. Again, it doesn't matter who wins.
It doesn't.
The other half feels like it loses. And it's amazing. I was thinking about it earlier. You know, the last few presidential elections, for sure, I mean, it has been almost, 50-49. Mm-hmm. 149. It's kind of it's literally just that much. From and it's been like that, and it kind of started, if you remember, with the George Bush and Al Gore election. It kind of started there, and you've kind of seen that we have become more divided over time. And I think that what we have to do is figure out why. It's not Democrat and Republican. Mm-hmm. It is absolutely not Democrat and Republican, because the truth of the matter is neither one of them are for the people anymore.
Neither one.
Neither one are for the people anymore. Now, they might be for their people, but they're not for the people. I think you got to find the root of it. I think that we've really got to get down to, there's some fears that exist. There's some fears. I believe that the reason why there are a lot of white people, if I can say this, I'm going to say it anyway. There's a lot of white people that, are the reason why they have a hard time in really trying to believe in equality is because there are a lot of white people that feel if Black people had the power and the money that they have, that we would do to them what they did to us. Mm-hmm. That's the fear. That's the fear. And I think that, so there's some fear that's there. I think that we have issues of, a lot of it is not race, it's money. It's a class issue. Some people don't care if you're Black as long as you're rich. They don't care if you're Black as long as you don't need their money to survive. And so I think that we've got to get to the root of the problems. And until we can be honest enough as people and have real dialogue where we can disagree, but also at the same time really begin to see, what is the real issue here? What are we really? Okay, so all lives matter. Okay, then if all lives matter, then why are we not dealing with this issue? Why are we not seeing this, these things being taken care of? And I think that what's happened when we saw the neon George Floyd's neck, when you hear the tape of the Breonna Taylor situation, it's those things that really frustrate you, because it's like, I know that you see this. We have to do something that's going to change it, and we got to get to the real root of Dr. King used to say that we need a heart transplant. The nation needs a heart transplant, and I think that that's where we are, as a nation. And again, Bishop, we get to decide what's next. We get to decide what next looks like in our country. We get to decide what next, looks like in our families, and whatever we want next to look like. We've got to put the energy, the efforts. We have to be strategic, and we have to be intentional. And if we're strategic and we are intentional, then what we hope to see, we will see. But it's absolutely going to take some effort.
My friend, I want to thank you so much for joining us tonight. And it was what I call last minute. At the last minute, we popped up and got you on here, and you consented to join us. And it means the world to me. I just felt the need to just say something in the middle of the week. And you were the right voice. And I want to just thank you for taking time out. I want to thank the Vatican for releasing you and for... Thank you.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Your words were so powerful and so full of wisdom, as always. And so you're on every morning at 9 a.m.?
Not 9 a.m. Monday, Friday, 9 a.m. Yeah, absolutely.
I thank you. I thank you for lunch yesterday. I wanted
Yes,
lunch.
sir. You want lunch on me?
I enjoyed that. Man, thank you so much. Any announcement, anything you want to put out there going forward?
Hey, listen, we got some casting calls coming up this week. If they go on my page, my Facebook page or our Game Changers page, they can get the information. And again, we're going to help you with your homeless project. And so I'm just asking, as many people as will to at least sacrifice that $7 to help Bishop Austin in the effort to feed those 100 people.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm not mad at you, but I did say the highest one I'd match them, so I guess I got to match that. So it's for a good cause, though. Man, thank you so much. I appreciate you tonight, and have a good evening. And what grade is Caleb in?
Well, Caleb is a sophomore in college now. Josh is in the 9th grade.
Oh, wait a minute. Which one did I see at the high school last year?
That was Caleb. He was at the high school last year. He graduated in January from high school, and he started college in January at St. Augustine. So he's been there since January too.
And my back hurt. I done got that old that quick. I done went from seeing him in the hallway at high school, and now he's a sophomore. I done got old. I done aged 3 years that quick. I'm proud of him, man. Proud of the job that you've been doing and that you are doing, man. And keep going. Keep making an impact in our community and in our world.
Absolutely. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, my friend. Have a good night.
You too.
All right. I want to thank Bishop Heggie. Man, I'm telling you, this was a powerful broadcast tonight. Again, I want to challenge those of you that can to join us in our project to feed the homeless. We're going to feed them. We're going to get it done. We're going to do it. I'm not going to say with or without you. We're going to do it with you. Just $7. There's the Cash App right there at the bottom of the screen. Eagle Austin, just $7. I want to thank Bishop for committing to 10 people. That's $70. Man, you can get a lot done with that. But guess what you can do? He can say 10 people ate a Thanksgiving meal on me, and I'm going to match it tonight. So I need your help tonight. I want to thank you for watching us tonight. I want to challenge you to tune in, not this coming Friday, but next Friday. We're going to have quite a few guests on. We're going to get some candidates that are running for office. We're trying to get some local Democratic and Republican leaders to come on, and we're not going to be like CNN or MSNBC or Fox. We're just going to come on and talk about the issues, the importance of voting, because your vote matters. You heard Bishop say that the last presidential elections that we've had ever since the hanging chads in Florida with Bush and Gore had been a 51-49 margin. Your vote could make a difference. I want to challenge you to do something before you leave tonight. When you go to bed tonight, do a brother a favor. Look into the mirror. Look into the mirror. Look yourself in the eye and ask yourself one question. I want to thank those of you that are giving that $7. It's popping in on the screen right now. You're making my heart glad, and you're doing what Christ called us to do, which is to feed our brother. Listen, look yourself in the eye in the mirror. And I want you to ask yourself a question before you go to bed tonight. I want you to ask yourself today, did I do something to work toward my destiny? Or did I simply waste another day? Don't waste another day. We'll see you right here real soon. Keep your eyes open for Sign of the Times right here. God bless you. Have a good evening.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't want to waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't want to waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays.